Semi-final day in the French capital, sunshine, spectators, and the day in singles that 4 becomes 2. Welcome to Live at Roland-Garros, where after nearly 2 weeks of intense competition, we are heading towards our final lineups. And with that in mind, here's what we have for you on this evening's show. Anastasia Pablo Chenkova to meet the winner of the battle on Philippe Chatrier in Saturday's final. It's a 58th meeting and 9th here at Roland-Garros for Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic. And 20 years to the day, we remember Guga's third Roland-Garros win. Stay with us, keep getting in touch. It's really nice to hear from you. You can find us across all of the Roland-Garros social media channels. And I'm delighted to say that alongside me once again is Daniela Hentakova. Now, Danny, I haven't asked you this, but as there's fewer matches going on, have you had a chance to sort of be out and about and explore Paris a little bit? Because I know you love being out and about in Paris.
Actually, I've been doing the same routine as you, Gigi, just going for a nice run, being in the nature a little bit and just get away from the action. But I have to say, you know, having fans back and so much live tennis, you just don't want to be anywhere else. I mean, we both love Paris so much, and I actually came earlier to explore the city once again a little bit more, but around this time of the year, this is the place you want to be.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, we're going to head straight to Philippe Chatrier because I think it's the business end of the second set. There, probably whispering for us, is Eli. Good evening.
Yep, good evening. I don't need to whisper quite just now, but I'm going to start whispering because Maria Sakkari just had a set point which she wasn't able to convert. She had a 4-0 lead in the second set in this second semifinal against Barbora Krejcikova. I'm trying to do that right, but she didn't convert. Now it's deuce, and after this ace, it is again set point for Maria Sakkari, the Greek number 18 in the world, trying to level this match at 1 set apiece. The crowd is shared. There are Marias and there are Barboras. Maybe we'll stay with us for a couple of seconds, see if she's able to convert this second set point. Now she's going to be serving. She's never beaten her. Sakkari has never beaten Krejcikova in 2 attempts. That first serve was long. This is the 5th Roland-Garros for Sakkari, 3rd only for Krejcikova. And remember, Krejcikova still in the doubles. Now the point is started. Oh, that one was long. We're back at deuce, so 2 attempts to make it 1 set apiece, but she hasn't managed. There are some nerves. I don't know. You want to stay with me? Or you guys going to come back to me? You tell me, Gigi.
Eli, something I'm noticing is we're getting views in the players' boxes how nervous the camps are. And we saw that in the first semi-finals. There is so much at the stake here for these players.
Yeah, it's huge for both of these players to make it to the final for the very first time. They're in a semi-final for the very first time, so it's already huge for them. But of course, it's the final step to be in that final match, to compete for the trophy. We know that you win a Grand Slam in tennis, it changes your career forever, it changes your life forever. And here we are with this unforced error by Barbora Krejcikova for set point number 3. Set point number 3 for Maria Sakkari. She should make it this time because otherwise she's going to start having regrets. Anyways, back to you guys, and we'll hear soon what happens. Unless she aces now, you'll probably hear it yourself.
Thank you very much, Eli. Yeah, our studio is based next to Philippe Chatrier, so if we hear a massive roar, we'll know that the set has gone because the crowd want more and more tennis. We have, though, the match so far, so we can talk people through what has taken place up to the point where Eli brought us. And again, it's these players walking out in their first Grand Slam semi-final. I wanted to ask you, in Australian Open, your semi-final, how did you, just the walking out into court, how do you feel?
There's nothing like it, no matter how many other titles.
I think she's just won
you
the
won,
first.
yeah. I think Maria might have just won that set. I mean, we can hear it all the way here. I would say it's the Greek fans, yes, yeah. So it's 1 set all.
Oh, there we go. Saying, I want more, give me more. Well, we're going to get more because we're going to get a deciding set. But that moment, Danny, you've woken up, you've gone through your routine, you're introduced out onto the rod laver. How do you feel?
I mean, Gigi, I was so nervous and tight that I actually called my coach the night before twice here to come back to my hotel to discuss the tactic one more time. That's what I tried to say. You know, I've been in semifinals many times before that, but there is nothing like a Grand Slam one, and especially for all 4 girls today. I mean, this means so much. And in a way, because we don't have a Grand Slam champion in this semifinal, for them, it's a double pressure because you feel like no matter what happens today, it's almost like you are winning the final as well because you have chance to go all the way. And that's what I kind of felt like in Australia, that I was playing such a good tennis. And yes, there was Maria Sharapova waiting for me in the finals, but I felt like I had the level. So there was so much pressure on myself that mentally I was not able to execute it all the way till the end. So I can definitely relay how the girls are feeling out there and how much tight and nervous they are. We already saw that in the quarterfinals. It was all of the matches very up and down just because of, the emotional part of the game. And it's just really cool to see how much it means to them. But that's where it's also sometimes, understandable that they're going to make mistakes that probably so far in the tournament they wouldn't have made just because there is so much on the line for them.
I mean, there is so much on the line. And Barbora Krejcikova, as she has done already in this tournament, had to come from behind. It was Sakkari that was able to take an early lead. But for me, the mental strength of Krejcikova, she doesn't seem to look at the scoreboard. She continues to play her game, continues to keep the head up, and she was able to go on a run and win 4 games just to once again edge ahead.
Yeah, what is impressive about Krejcikova that, she's not afraid, first of all, to share how tight she was already playing against Sloane Stephens. Probably, sharing those emotions kind of helped her to overcome it. And despite how nervous she is, she just keeps hitting the ball. I mean, that's such a difficult thing to do because when you get tight, the first thing you do, you slow down everything. Your movement is not there. You don't feel the racket anymore. And she's able to go against all those feelings, overcome that. And actually, when it's really a crucial point, not only in today's match, but also the previous one, she goes for it even more. And then she's got that beautiful touch, what we just saw on that point when she was able to come up with the lob of a drop shot. That just shows, how well she can play at the net and what kind of skills she's got.
But then the nerves kick in, and then Sakkari stepped up her game. She wasn't ready to concede the set at this point and just put a little bit of doubt in Krejcikova's mind. And this is this game of chess that we are playing with these two, with the goal, with the prize being the Grand Slam final.
Yeah, that's where from Maria, you know what you're going to get, is that attitude that no matter what the score is, she is there for every single point, almost like a Rafa kind of a mentality, which is remarkable. And that's what makes her so tough, that no matter how good or bad she's playing, after losing that first set, you just feel like she's going to turn it around because that's how much she wants it. That's how much she's worked hard for it physically. And, that's why we are now in the third set.
And you felt last year with Sakkari just going deeper in the Grand Slams that her time was coming as she was building. And people talk about her physique and the physicality. And she said, I love working out. I love being in the gym. I love being this fit. And she's also credited her British coach, Tom Hill, that it's so relaxing to be around him. And when you find that working partnership that just works, you can see how relaxed she has been up to this point.
Yeah, she's found a wonderful balance with her coach being so relaxed, but then her trainer being super hard on her. And I mean, like I said many times, the exercises she does, super impressive. And that's where, she's a great example that naturally, maybe not the purest talent she's got, but if you keep working at stuff, if you keep, trying to be a better player, you're going to get there eventually. And that's why, for players like Maria, that you just know how long she had to work and wait for it. She deserves big time every single second of, the match she's now playing. So super happy for her.
So going into this deciding set for Krejcikova, how does she have to think about this? Does she have to reset and it's just the one set? How does she approach this?
She's got to go back to think what worked for her in the first set. And that was, to me, stepping in, making the rallies a little bit shorter, even though she's been very successful with the longer ones, to try to bring Maria a little bit more to the net, because that's where the skills of Krejcikova are a little bit better. The thing is, now it's going to come really a physical match, and that's where Maria wants to be. So it's going to be really fascinating to follow. I can't really lean towards one player or the other. From a physical point of view, definitely I'm leaning a little bit towards Maria, but then the way Krejcikova has been hitting the ball throughout the tournament, 50-50 at this moment. Tough to call.
It is an intriguing deciding set. And actually, Maria Sakkari currently at the moment waiting for her opponent, who has taken her leave to compose herself, to get set for this one-set shootout. So we'll let you know when she comes back out on court. We'll let you know when the match resumes. We'll be covering this. But we know who the winner will face in the final on Saturday, because it was 52nd time lucky in a Grand Slam main draw for the Russian Anastasia Chenkova. And the outpouring afterwards for everyone, so happy, the talent that she has, that she's finally made it to a final?
It was not only the talent today, but to me, tactically brilliant. It felt like 90% of her shots were going to Zidanšek backhand. She completely took that forehand that's been working so well for the Slovenian out of the game. And every single opportunity she had it was so clear. And I think that's where her brother has helped her big time, because she was so disciplined. So many times in the past, I felt like she's got the shots, but then for some reason her shot selection would be really like, what is she doing out there? But today she stick to the plan from the first point until the last. Even though there were stages in the first set, it was not going for her. She just never changed that strategy, and that's why she managed to get through. Also physically, she was moving incredibly well. And what I said before the match, she needed to take the ball early on the rise, and definitely she was the better player out there. Even though Zidanšek obviously fighting till the end, I just felt like Pablo Chenkova had too much experience and too much class for her.
And people were wondering how physically Pablo Chenkova could hold up. We don't know how damaged or not that left knee is with the bandage on, but she's also been playing doubles, so she's been playing a lot of tennis through this tournament.
Yeah, and especially, she's not the youngest out there, but I guess it's a good thing now that she's out of the women's finals in doubles, so that she can really just focus on her singles, because this is where you got to be careful, how much time you're spending out there on the court, and let's hope she can recover for the finals.
Her last title was 2018 in Strasbourg. She will return to the top 20 just by reaching the final. She's the first Russian woman to advance to a Grand Slam final since 2015 and Maria Sharapova in Australia.
Yeah, it's incredible. With all the Russian domination we had a couple of years ago, that it took them so long to have another Grand Slam finalist. And, for Anastasia, it was never easy, because she was always kind of in the shadow of Sharapovas, of Dementievas, Miskinas, and all those great players. I'm sure I'm forgetting many. And so now it's great to see that it's her time to shine, and that she really had to wait for things as well, work hard for them. And to me, she's just, so much more disciplined with everything she does on and off the court.
And afterwards, I believe she looked so calm. I'm sure the nerves were jangling away, but she stayed so calm through this match, even when things weren't going her own way. In the on-court interview afterwards, I don't know whether she was in shock or just staying very calm and peaceful about what she achieved.
I can totally relate to that, because so many times I watch myself after winning tournaments, obviously not as big as this, and I'm like, how was I so calm? And then obviously as soon as you get off the court, you meet your team off the cameras, that's where you kind of lose it and you go nuts.
Congratulations to Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. She lifts up her arms as if to say, have I done that? Yes, you've done that. You're through to your first Grand Slam final in the 14th year on tour. 52nd attempt at a Grand Slam main draw. Your Roland-Garros finalist, Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova.
This is something I've been thinking about every single time. That's, I think, as tennis players, that's the only goal I think we have in the head. That's why we play in tennis. That's for us is the biggest achievement you can get. That's what you're playing for, I think, of course. And I think about it all the time. Been thinking about it since I was a junior, since I was a little kid, since I started playing tennis. That's what you're playing for. That's what you want. And it's been there in my head for forever.
And as I say, the outpouring on social, Maria Sharapova sent a post just with a heart and Pavlyuchenkova's name. She's a much-loved figure on the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well respected, always correct, always, fun to be around, super smart as well. The times we've practiced, played together in matches. Last time I think I played against her was in Monterrey final, and she beat me in 3 sets, but I feel like, I've played a great match. And when she has the day where she times the ball well, we all know how dangerous she can be. So I think all of us, all the generation is so happy for her that finally she's putting it all together, because we've seen it for many, many years coming.
Now, we had some Grand Slam champions crowned today. You know exactly what this feeling is like in this competition, because we have mixed doubles, Roland-Garros champions, new champions here at Roland-Garros. And it was a British and an American combination who came through against the Russian pair of Elina Svestina and Aslan Karatsev. Karatsev's first time ever, apparently, according to his partner, playing mixed doubles. But for Joe Salisbury, in his first mixed doubles final with his partner Desiree Crouchick. Now, they played together in Australia. They got to the semi-finals. They had a walkover in there in this run to the final, but they are the champions. They couldn't believe it. I think he mouthed something along lines of, what on earth have we done here? They are the mixed doubles champions for 2021. Big smiles, big trophy, and here for you, Desiree Crouchick, post-match.
Thank you to everyone. You know, this is last year we made the finals with my partner Alexa, and we didn't have a big crowd because of the COVID-19, but this year it's been great. And Joe, thanks for playing with me again. Hopefully we can play again. And thank you to Craig, Alexa, Rob, everyone at home, everyone that's supporting us. It's been amazing winning our first Grand Slam mixed title. So, and thank you to the tournament for making this possible. So thank you so much.
I like it when you hear in the speech of winners, one saying to the other, can we play together again?
Yeah, it's always
like...
funny how those setups happen. We never played with Fabrice again. What happened there?
Yeah, what happened there? Why did you not play together again?
You know, we never discussed it. We never asked each other. I was like, okay, this was great. Thank you very much. See you.
Maybe you couldn't do any better. You've won a Grand Slam title, so you end on a high.
Pretty much, we've never lost with Fabrice. We're unbeatable.
It's perfect. It's a dream team. Now, we're piecing together who's going to come through in the men's doubles, because today we had the semi-finals. Now, some home action to come, but we started with a Kazakh pairing of Alexander Bublic and Andrei Goliabev. I think there was about 3 underarm serves, possibly 2 in a row from this very entertaining pair.
Oh, they are just so much fun to watch, and yeah, you just never know what you're gonna get. And it seems like the underarm serve, it's becoming a fashion, not only in singles, in doubles as well. I would say in doubles, it would make even more sense bringing the opponents in and then trying to pass them. So good to see. I mean, so much fun and so much energy from these two guys.
Yeah, just in their 5th event together through to a first career major final. Pablo and Pedro Martinez on the losing side there. I'm sure they're eyeing up the Olympics. Here was an absolute cracker, because Herbert and Mahou, 2018 champions, had to save 2 match points in the second set, only to turn it around and come through against Cabal and Farah.
I gotta say, they are my all-time favorite team. You know, they bring so much energy, and how much it means to them. And whenever I have to commentate their match, I'm like, yes, this is going to be entertaining. And I'm just always super happy. I know we are supposed to be more of a neutral kind of judges here, but, you know, especially doing so well in Paris in front of their home crowd, there is no such feeling. So great day for them.
Look at the that's going to be a fun final with that pairing.
I'm definitely watching that,
the
Gigi.
underarm serving of Alexander Bublic and his partners. So we've got the men's final set. You've got your mixed doubles champions crowned. We're missing a piece of the puzzle for the women's singles final on Saturday. Eli, can you put any more meat on the bones as to who it might be?
I wish I could, but for the moment it's very, very, very hard. We're at the beginning, only the beginning of the 3rd set. Sakkari still serving. She's looking to tie at 1 apiece. Krejcikova took a 1-0 lead. She also took a long break at the end of the 2nd set. Within 1:30, Sakkari was back on her feet, ready to start play. Krejcikova was nowhere to be seen, and it took her some time to come back. Sakkari went and spoke to the umpire, asking what's going on. Basically, very clear what's going on. Sakkari's on a super high. Krejcikova trying to bring the rhythm of the match back down, trying to slow things down a bit, trying to control the pace. And on the other end, Sakkari, who is on fire, just the crowd is with her, just pumping her fist left and right. So very tough to say, but the momentum is Sakkari-esque right now, and Krejcikova is trying to break it.
Eli, thank you very much, and we'll bring you any goings-on in a match on Philippe Chatrier while we are still on air, and then you can follow afterwards on the website, the app, or on Radio Roland-Garros. Now, tomorrow, we will have our men's finalists, because it's men's semi-finals day here at Roland-Garros. The first match at 2:50 in the afternoon is Sasha Zverev against Stefanos Tsitsipas. Then not before 5:30, we have a 58th meeting and a 9th here at Roland-Garros between Rafa Nadal and Novak Djokovic.
Novak Djokovic, Rafael Nadal.
don't know about you, Danny, but after that, I'm ready.
I'm ready too. And I was
Ready?
just thinking, like, where do we even start talking about this match?
Where would you like to start?
I would say they should serve and volley. Rafa should play right hand, Novak should play left hand, and let's just mix it up because everyone knows what they're going to do. They know what they know, the other one knows. It's one of those matches like...
Okay, so how do you tackle that? I don't know what your longest record against someone was, but when you know someone so well, can you approach it differently?
That's the thing. Probably in Novak's case, he should. In Rafa's, no. I mean, don't change anything from the last year's final and the way Rome ended up as well just a couple of weeks ago. But from Novak's point of view, maybe try to surprise him with, I don't know what really. Like I said, maybe serve and volley, do drop shots all the time or a slice backhand. I honestly don't know where you even start to think how to go about this match. To me, making it really simple, it's going to be about the mental part. Who's going to keep the nerves and the emotions under more control. And that's where Rafa so far has been unbelievable in this tournament.
And you talk about emotions. We all heard, I mean, people sort of 50 kilometres away from here heard Novak Djokovic's reaction last
I heard
night.
it back.
It was unbelievable. And it went on. And he said it because it was emotional. And there was tension. And this is what it means to him. And now through to face Nadal I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't even know if there's sound on this little bit here. I think there is. I mean, we will go quiet when he roars because it was incredible. He had the crowd to start with. The crowd then had to leave. Of course they did because it was curfew. He managed to get on top in the match, but boy, he was tense.
He was absolutely, and even like after the match when he won the match point, it was still going on, and I think this is where we're gonna now hear it. No, this is actually the celebration. This is the good part.
I mean, that's terrifying.
Yeah, if I was Matteo, I would be afraid to.
I'd be like, you've won, it's okay, it's over, it's finished. But he's through to a 40th Grand Slam. Oh, there we go. A little bit more. Okay, there we go. A 40th Grand Slam semi-final, 35 for Rafa Nadal. Yes, of course, we wanted it to be the final and this to be the final match of the year. But wow, this semi-final, it doesn't come any bigger.
It doesn't come any bigger, it doesn't come any better, and I think this is what we've all been waiting for up till tomorrow. Honestly, once again, we are so grateful to still have both players healthy, competing at their best tennis. It seems like every year, I don't know how they do it, but every year they play even better and better. And like we said yesterday, if it was not for the other two, where say Novak is better because of Rafa is better because of Roger and Novak and so on. It's just, they keep motivating each other. They keep improving. I'm sure when they go back to practice at home, they are thinking, okay, if I'm Novak, how can I hit better left-handed serves? So I'm sure they have each other in the back of their mind when they practice as well.
So with Rafa Nadal meeting Novak Djokovic tomorrow on Philippe Chatrier in the semi-finals, not before 5:30, it was a very obvious question of the day. Quite simply, Nadal or Djokovic. Now, at the start of these 2 weeks, did anyone not tip Nadal? Should be the question. Did you tip Nadal?
I did, yes, absolutely.
From what you've seen, do you want to change that now?
I don't want to, but, having said that, last year I was so sure about Novak. And then in the finals, it was completely the other way around. So very careful here with my predictions. Like I said, just because of that mentality Rafa's got for every single point of his career, he never, ever changes that. I don't know how he does it. To me, he's the best competitor in all the sports I've ever seen in the history of all the sports. So for that reason, I'm sticking with Rafa. But as far as tennis goes, I don't see any differences between these two guys.
Okay, well, we went out and about a little bit earlier. Let's find out which way the fans have landed. Nadal or Djokovic?
Nadal.
Nadal. Nadal or Djokovic?
Nadal. Nadal. Nadal.
Nadal, of course. In Roland-Garros, Nadal.
Nadal.
Nadal for me.
Nadal, Nadal, Nadal.
Nadal.
Djokovic. Nadal.
Djokovic. Sure.
Nadal. Nadal.
Djokovic.
Djokovic?
Yes.
Oh, Nadal, Djokovic.
Which one?
Oh, Nadal.
Nadal or Djokovic? Nadal or Djokovic?
Yeah, that could have lasted a while. I like that split in the family between Nadal and Djokovic. So people have been voting. You put it on your social media channel. We had it on the official Roland-Garros social media channel. Let's see if it's weighted to one side. Are people split? You've got Nadal. Most of the fans here went Nadal. And 80% of the people who have voted have gone
That
Nadal.
one-sided. I like the answer there where someone said Rafa because we are in Paris. I mean, if it's somewhere else, 50-50 all day long, just because we are in Roland-Garros. And obviously, already having the statue here, that's kind of a statement. Maybe that's where Eli was, asking people around the statue. Is like, okay, who do you go for?
He's definitely going to be swayed towards Rafa Nadal. Now, continuing our theme of tomorrow's semi-final and those involved, it also features in this evening's Eye of Daniela. Now, this is something that people talk about, especially with Philippe Chatrier, especially with Nadal. It's the size of the court. I don't think people, and we had Guy Forget here the other night, and he talked about you walk out onto Philippe Chatrier, and it takes you a good few minutes to kind of figure it all out. It's so big.
Not only a few minutes, it takes matches and years to actually feel comfortable on that court. And even for French players, it's not easy to play their match. And I'm sure, you know, they have opportunities to practice there a little bit more than the rest. And I do believe it's one of the reasons why Rafa has been so successful in the past on Philippe Chatrier, because the distance between the baseline and the fans, it's 10 meters. I mean, Gigi, this is that is the biggest we have in any court in on the tour, and that's
enormous.
why Rafa is able to go back behind the baseline and hit shots. Sometimes it feels like he's almost in the locker room, and he's still able to pass the guys when they come to the net. I mean, if I try to hit a shot from there, it would not even go over the net. I mean, that's how far it is. And I do believe it's one of the reasons why he's so successful. Why is that? Because most of the players like to be on the baseline. That's where they like to dictate the points. And it's also something Rafa has changed over the years. He's staying more towards the baseline, but in Roland-Garros, he likes to go back to buy himself more time to be able to hit more spin. And if you are not used to that, you find yourself, you know, hitting the balls from maybe 1 meter behind the baseline, and you're not going to have the same power. Where for Rafa, that's where he wants to be. I mean, look how far he's returning from. I mean, honestly, he's the only player that is able to hit the ball so hard from so far in the back of the court, and definitely one of the reasons why he's been so successful here in the past.
I think we got Eli out a little bit earlier on court too, just to do a little bit of measuring of his own, so we could sort of compare Philippe Chatrier to other clay courts. So this is Eli doing his steps. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, this is like the ideal distance you want. This is what, you know, that's kind of where we practice, where we play most of our matches. And suddenly you come to Philippe Chatrier and you feel like you're almost lost out there. So it's not about, you know, the size of the stadium, how many people are watching us. We don't care about that, whether it's 2,000 or 20,000. But it's how far the court feels. And because there is so much distance, suddenly you feel like the court is bigger. And sometimes you miss shots because you just misjudge it. So it's very tricky. And like many players said, it's not easy to get used to it.
We've also noticed with the shot clock, we had Roger Federer, who was being told off because he was going to get his towel and wandering back. And by the time he had done that, the clock had run down because there's a lot of court to cover.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it must be like there to practice without the ball boys. I mean, it takes you like half an hour just to go and pick up the balls and come back to the baseline and start the drills over again. Maybe it's a good thing if you need more time in between the drills.
Now, a little bit earlier today, Eli spoke to a man who is very interested, as we all are, in the second semi-final tomorrow, but he's got a particular interest in the first.
Okay. All right, so we are with Misha Zverev, who just got off the paddle court and enjoying yourself playing some paddle. I want to ask you, obviously, to preview for us both semifinals tomorrow. First of all, your brother, who's playing first against Tsitsipas. Can you give us an objective preview on this match?
Well, looking at the game style, they're very different. Tsitsipas has always a phenomenal game plan, one-handed backhand, heavy forehand. I feel like he has a pretty Eastern grip on the forehand. That means a lot of spin and classical technique. He likes to come in, very good footwork on the clay. I don't know, he hasn't played 5-set matches on the clay yet this year, so I don't know how long he could last in the match, especially when it's this hot. My brother, on the other hand, we know he can play long matches, and he likes to be a little further behind the baseline, but this year I feel like he's trying to be more aggressive, come in a bit more often, not as often as Stefanos Tsitsipas, but still definitely my brother improving his game plan, which is good to see. And I believe it's going to be a really interesting match to see, like, the two different game styles battling out against each other, both young players, to then play you want to say the older generation, Novak Djokovic, Rafa Nadal, playing each other the 58th time, which is incredible. I mean, we remember Agassi and Sampras playing so many times against each other, but this is a whole nother level. And I feel like I haven't even played 58 matches in my career. That's how I feel. And they play 58 times against each other. And there, it's the good old Rafa on clay, heavy topspin forehand, running like no one else. And Djokovic trying to be close to the baseline, phenomenal footwork, and taking the ball on the rise. It's going to be very interesting and hard to predict.
Does Novak have a chance? I feel like the first semifinal is harder to predict than the second, but because of Rafa's record here and you know, on everybody and including Novak.
I think both matches are hard to predict because Rafa is playing so well. Every time he comes to Paris, he's so dangerous. But Novak this year, he's very sharp. And you saw his reaction after the win over Berrettini. He's set. He has a goal. He has a target. And he's so focused and determined. So sometimes the pure will of a player can sometimes get him to the next round.
Okay, so we'll wait and see. Good luck to the Zverev family. Thank you very much and enjoy more paddle. It's a bit sunny. Maybe you need to take some shade.
It's extremely warm in Paris, but everyone's enjoying it. It's so nice to see the crowd here, and we're just loving it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I like Eli taking care of our guests there. You should try and get yourself a little bit of shade. I think Eli's found himself a little bit of shade. That was earlier with Misha Zverev. Now, Eli, what's the latest before we leave everyone this evening?
The latest is that Maria Sakkari, after 2 hours and 15 minutes of play, is up a break in set number 3. And if she manages to hold on to this advantage, she will be on the court on Saturday.
Wow, Eli, thank you very much. And you can follow that, the website, the app, and of course there's ball-by-ball commentary now on Radio Roland-Garros. Let's confirm tomorrow's order of play that we've been talking about in the show this evening. An 8th meeting to start with between Sasha Zverev and Stefanos Tsitsipas, but a first meeting, interestingly, a Grand Slam, and a 58th meeting between Novak Djokovic and Rafa Nadal, a 9th at Roland-Garros. So, Danny, on Sunday, your final lineup will include...
Wow, you really putting me on a spotlight here. Rafa against Sasha.
Rafa against Zverev. And you've got a bit of tennis to play. I see your is there a rematch with Eli this evening?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he decides to follow that match or if he wants to play with me. I mean, I did offer, but...
Oh, that's true. He might be staying on Philippe Chatrier.
Yeah, exactly.
OK, well, I'm not sure we're filming it this evening, but we'll keep you posted how that pans out. We'll be back with you at 7 o'clock tomorrow with the second semi-final going on. We'll have live hits and bring you everything as it happens. But we're going to leave you this evening with a reminder of a really special event that took place 20 years ago today when Gustavo Kuerten lifted his 3rd Roland-Garros crown. Bye for now.
6-7, 7-5, 6-2, 6-0.